All right, welcome back everybody. On this mission I'm going to be teaching you about the preloaded apps that Apple has put on every iPad. And as I mentioned in the text on this mission, if you don't want one of these apps to be here on your home page, feel free to go ahead and click until they wiggle and drag them all the way to the back end onto a page of their own, even if you'd like, if it's something that you're not going to use. But these are useful apps, and so I do want to go over each of them with you. Up here in the top left corner is the messages. If you have an iPhone already, you know how iMessage works. It's basically like text messaging, and with the iPad it will only work in Wi-Fi. So what you can do here is you can enter in your Apple ID that you want people to message you on. Feel free to use the iPad Apple ID that was assigned to you by the school, but also feel free to erase that and put your personal email Apple ID in there so that someone can reach you at that and load that into their phone for texting you on the iPad. So that's iMessage. The next is FaceTime. Same thing works here. Now FaceTime is really cool for video messaging, and it will, of course you can see my little camera there and the ceiling because that's what I'm showing, but people will call you using your email address. So you can choose which email address you want to use on here. You set that up, you enter the address, say next, and then you can just let people know you can FaceTime me on this email address, and if you have their contact then and you're both in Wi-Fi, you can actually have a video chat, and it works out really cool. The next one is a very useful app. It is the camera app. And the camera app allows you to, you can always say okay here. If they're asking for your location, go ahead and say okay, because that records the location of the picture when it was taken. And so right here I've just tapped this little guy, will allow you to toggle between the front camera and the rear camera. You see that the front camera then would allow you to see what is right on top of the iPad, in this case my camera, my document camera, and the ceiling. If I toggle it this way, it's obviously black. Now if I pick it up, let me just show you, it's going to find whatever's in front of it there as I'm on the front facing camera there. So you can choose which camera to use, front or rear, and you can also choose right here in the bottom right hand corner whether to do a still camera shot or a video camera shot, and this is where you go ahead and toggle that if you're going to do video, and it will change that to a video, and when you press the red button here it will start recording and will capture picture and sound, and then you can press that to end. Now all of your pictures that you take are going to go right here onto your camera roll, so if you want to look at what you just took, you'll be able to tap in the bottom left hand corner and scroll through the pictures and videos that you have taken. The other place where they will go is to the next native app, and that is to the Photos app. So any photos that you take with photos or videos that you take or have imported onto your iPad will be here under Photos if you tap that, and you can find that. Now another cool thing to know about the camera is that there is a capability on the iPad of taking a screenshot. So if you want to say you're in your mail and you see something that you want and you want to take a screenshot of it, or you're on the web and you see something that you want, let's go over to the web. Another one of the native apps here is Safari. And say you're in here and you want a screenshot of something that you found online. Then all you need to do to take a screenshot of anything that's on your screen on the iPad is to press the home key here and the sleep wake button at the same time, and you'll be able to hear it take a picture. That little camera click lets you know that it took a picture of what was on the screen, and I'll show you if you go into Photos that that screenshot will be there. There it is, the website that we just took a picture of. And so you can open that up. You could zoom in however you'd like. It just took a picture of it. So that's a very useful tool to screenshot. Again, it's the home key and the sleep wake button, and you'll hear the sound. and it took a picture of, in this case, my home screen, because that was what was up. So that's a great way to take pictures, pictures and video under camera, find those pictures and video under photos. And the next native app I want to show you is right here on the left. It's Maps. This is a way that you can type in directions and zoom in anywhere to find an address. It works pretty good. A great thing to do with this one is to take a screenshot of the directions once you have them looked up, and then save them in your picture, your photos here, because you won't have Wi-Fi when you leave the building or when you're out browsing around. We don't have 3G on these, so if you want to be able to take the directions with you, you can just take a screenshot. The next native app is the clock app, and that allows you to not only have world clocks here that you can customize which cities you want to always know what time it is, but down at the bottom here you can choose the alarm and set alarms for various alarms for different times during the week. You can choose to have the stopwatch, which is useful sometimes in your classroom if you are timing students on a particular activity. And you can choose to have the timer, which is a countdown timer rather than a count up like the stopwatch is. So those are all useful there under the clock app. The next one is just a fun little app. It's on every Mac and it's on all of the iOS devices. It's called Photo Booth. When you tap on it, it's going to take a picture of whatever it's looking at, but it's going to allow you to have that picture in fun, weird ways. So you can kaleidoscope it, you can make it look like a tunnel, squeeze it. It just is funny. And when you choose on that one, you'll see how it's twisted up my ceiling there because it's on twirl. You can just do fun, weird things with pictures there. The next native app is your contacts. Great place to keep a record of everything that you need. Now yours is not going to have any contacts in it at the beginning, but as you email people and as you enter contacts, and it's not showing up real good here. Let's darken this a little bit. You can go ahead and tap right here on the plus button, and that will allow you then to open a screen where you can add a photo of someone, their first and last name, their phone numbers, their emails, and any other information you want about them, and then it will save it in your contacts. So that's a cool app for you. The next one is the Native Notes app, and that one is right here. It is really just a pad of paper. You cannot handwrite on this one with a stylus or with your finger, but you can type notes and just jot down little notes that you have. When you have several, they'll be here under the Notes tab, and you can even put them in little folders and stuff and keep things organized there. Next we have the reminders list, a great little to-do list that can sync with reminders on your Mac if you want it to sync up, and you can create different lists and have checklists here for you, and it will match up with your calendar as well. So reminders is helpful, although I choose to use an app called Wunderlist that we've also preloaded for you, and I'll zoom over to show you what that looks like. It's this one right here, Wunderlist, with this little badge on the front and the star. I choose to use that. It syncs really well with Android, Macs, PCs, iPads, iPhones, any of those, and I like the list capabilities that it has a little bit better than reminders. Newsstand is the next native app, and it is really just a bookshelf here that will be blank unless you buy anything. So if you tap on it, it's going to ask you if you want to download magazines and newspapers from the App Store. You are welcome with your personal Apple ID to buy subscriptions to your favorite newspaper or magazine, and if you do that, then they will arrive here and be on your newsstand every day or every week or every month when that periodical is released. And those do cost money, but feel free to use the newsstand. And if you're not using it, like I said, you can just press and hold it until it wiggles. And once everything is wiggling there, you can feel free to drag that all the way to another page where you're not using it so that it's out of the way. Let's see, a couple more native apps to show you. Next is iTunes. iTunes is where you can buy anything from the iTunes store, including music, movies, television shows, audio books, and they're all listed along the bottom here. Similar to in the App Store, they'll have top charts, they'll have the Genius. You can find things you've purchased over here on the right. And you can literally search through music from all over the world and buy individual tracks or entire CDs and save them on here. Again, anything you're purchasing that's not school related should be done on your personal Apple ID. We already covered the App Store in a different app, in a different mission. The next one that's loaded is the Game Center, and that is something that you can choose if you're a gamer to log into for free with whichever Apple ID you choose, and you can actually play games live in real time with people from around the world and keep score and leaderboards and all of that kind of thing. There's all different games that you can play when you log in there. Not something that I've really used very much. We've covered settings in another mission, and the last one is music. So when you buy things from iTunes, then they're going to show up in music, kind of like when you take pictures with camera, they show up in photos. So music is where you actually listen to your audiobooks and your music that you've purchased. The last native app is the one down here that I moved on the dock earlier. Let's move it back up there. And it is Videos. And Videos is where any movies that you've downloaded, movies or TV shows, or videos that you've taken on your camera will show up here under the Videos app. So you can find them there. Oh, there are a couple more native ones down here on the dock. We have Safari, which is your native Apple browser. You can use other browsers, but there's not a way to set a default browser to be anything other than Safari on the iPad. So we've loaded a couple of default or a couple of additional browsers for you. One of them is here called Puffin, and it is a browser that you would need to use if you want to play Flash video, but you can't choose to use that browser all the time. You'd have to manually tap on it and navigate to a site. Whereas if you click a link in your email and it's opening something on the web, it's automatically going to open in Safari. The next native app is Calendar, and you can choose to view your calendar in the day view, the week view, the month view, or the year view. And when you load your CCA email on here, you'll need to tap on Calendars, and you'll just put a check mark next to the one that shows up that says Exchange, and that will allow you to get all your CCA calendars on here. I also have loaded my personal Gmail calendars on here as well, and you can choose to check or uncheck different ones so you can see them, and you can put them in different colors. And I choose to usually use the week view, and that allows me to see what's happening on the various days of the week on my personal iPad. And the last one we've covered in a previous mission is the Mail app, and that is where you can add, you've already added your Microsoft Exchange account, you can add an additional personal email, and you'll be able to get all your mail in that app. So that covers the preloaded apps that are available on your iPad from Apple, and I look forward to seeing you on the next mission.